And he's busy and can't make it tonight.
Why do we even have these calls?
So we can chit chat.
It's the same freaking people who've done this 17 times with me.
Duh.
Uh,
I'm fine if you want to cancel it. I mean, I'll
no.
participate if you keep it. I had a lapse of judgment last night
Did you
and
eat a
ate.
bunch of bad food?
I no, I was stressed out because I had Tommy with me. We're at a hotel and we're in doing baseball stuff. So I was with him all day, and it's annoying to go places with dogs that don't are not well behaved.
Oh my
And
God.
so then we were going to a restaurant that was dog friendly, and I would prefer to bring the food back to our hotel. But we had him in the restaurant. There was no customers there, so it was fine, except that Tommy doesn't do well when we're eating and he's watching us eat. He was barking a bunch, so I was eating, but not even like tasting the food. I was just shoveling it in my mouth so I could get him to stop barking. And then I didn't really feel like I ate enough food because I ate so fast and just went outside. The the restaurant, because they closed, they gave us all the leftover food that they cooked that they didn't sell. And so we got like two orders of pork spare ribs, cornbread, like all this
Oh.
food that I would never have ordered. We didn't even order, and it was just amazing tasting. So we got back to the room and I finally unloaded Tommy, and then I just started eating it. Just force feeding myself the food. I didn't even want to eat it, but it was there. It
Good
was.
Lord.
I knew it was bad while it was happening. I'd already eaten like enough food, and then I had another probably like 2 meals worth of food.
I just listened to a wait, let me think about this. Did I read that or listen to it? I don't know. It's okay. It doesn't matter. That's one meal of 21 this week of
Yeah, and then I
900,073 of this year.
I had the rest of the ribs for breakfast this morning,
Oh, that sounds delicious.
but it was fine. I didn't eat the cornbread.
Wait, what time did this meeting start?
It didn't yet.
It
I was
hasn't
Oh,
just.
started.
I'm always
okay.
full of complaints, Cindy.
Okay, because I'm like, did I miss the whole thing?
No.
No.
I should probably edit out the
Yes, please.
me me griping before anyone else showed up.
Don't worry,
Uh,
no one watches these anyway.
yeah, no one watched them anyway, so who cares?
Actually, I did watch the very first one on the Super Bowl
I
night.
was
I
I was
learned
so
that Sandra
rusty.
Sandra doesn't like cinnamon either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Azine said that she watched it. We were she was like, "Oh, I heard what you said," and I was like, "What did I say?" But she totally watched it. So apparently, people are watching it.
Are you doing your complimentary 5 minute delay or are we starting at five?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
While we wait, is there anything exciting we should anticipate for the Open this year?
Uh,
Or are you doing Friday Night Lights? And sorry if it's in a newsletter that I forgot. I
I
already
I
read and
actually don't.
forgot.
Well, the coach is supposed to blast it all week, but I don't know what I put in the newsletter. I can't remember. But yeah, we're doing Friday Night Lights. We're having food trucks. Uh, it would be awesome if it's very obvious when there are not that many people in the gym. Even though it's a smaller space, it feels even more obvious than it did in that bigger space. I don't know why. Um, but yeah.
Meaning you want a Friday Night
Hey,
Lights turnout? Is that what you're
yeah, I
saying?
want people to freaking come because it's like it's kind of lame when it's not that many people and then there's just a heat and they just kind of go and then the next heat goes and the next heat goes and then we're done. It's more
Well,
exciting when people are there to watch and cheer people on and things like that.
did you mention something about like houses?
Yeah,
And
well, we're
are you
gonna
going to
do
do
it
that?
AM versus PM.
Okay. Not, but not by class, because Dawn Patrol would win.
Correct. AM versus
Okay.
PM. And it's clearly just for fun.
Isn't
The
it
winning.
always for fun? Yes.
So
The
Well,
winning.
I
so
don't
that
know.
so that means that we've got Masha and Steph on our team. Oh, we've won already. We're done.
Oh, and Sandra.
And Sandra. That's right.
But are points deducted for questions?
Yeah, it's up to the respective coaches to decide how many points are awarded, kind of like the different coach or teachers at Hogwarts.
Points are deducted for asking for exact instructions and not just sort of do this, toss the ball.
Just throw the ball.
Mhm. No.
So
No one
yeah,
else
I'm
here
sorry,
knows
I
what you're
missed it.
talking about.
Are you not doing Friday Night Lights?
We are doing Friday Night Lights, and we're also having the AM versus PM classes challenge each other. Not
Okay.
necessarily by score, though, right? By ability
No,
to
it's
follow
just
directions.
no, it's I mean, there's no clean way of well, that's weird. What is that? There's no clean way of unless there's no
And you're
fair
going to count,
way to split everyone up. So
yeah.
it just is what it is.
And you're going to count by, regardless of whether you do officially do the open. It's just if you did the open
Well,
workout.
correct, because so that's part of the problem. It's like we have 11 people signed up officially for the open, so we can't use CrossFit's leaderboard because there's 11 people.
Mhm.
We can't use. We're going to have to use Beyond the Whiteboard, which is moderately easy to
Flawed.
use to try and separate people, but then everyone has to enter their scores into Beyond the Whiteboard. We can't use the written down whiteboard scores because they get erased, or else we would have to keep them and then continuously rearrange them. So it's like there's no easy way to do it.
I think everyone should be encouraged to do the workout like as if it was an open workout, meaning that you don't immediately look to scale, or the scale you're doing is the official scaled version of the workout,
Yeah, that's obviously what
and
we're
then
going to do.
have a judge, because being judged in your workout is very different than doing the workout and counting yourself.
That's the plan. We're going to try and have, depending on the workouts, but we're going to try and have 2 heats of everything, which is going to unfortunately require an abbreviated kind of breakout lesson briefing and warm up. So people will probably have to come in a little earlier and warm up generally before the workout starts. I'm going to be testing them on Thursdays and then put out my kind of, I don't know if you guys remember, a long time ago. I don't actually remember how long ago it was. Maybe it was last year. It just feels like an eternity ago. I used to put out like little my thoughts on the workouts and then like link to other coaches who put out their thoughts.
Yes.
And then including what included like the three
Warm
different
up.
buckets, like including a warm up that's on the board and including like, okay, well, if you're this kind of an athlete, this is how you should probably look at this and approach this workout. If you're this kind of intermediate athlete, this is how you should kind of, I'll try and do something like that this year. Not try. I will do something like that this year, and I'm testing it on Thursdays, so I have a better understanding of how the workout works.
Do they come out at noon on Thursday?
They didn't used to, but now I think that they do. Let me confirm that.
I think that's right, unless they changed it. But I feel like the last few times it was noon instead of 5 p.m. So it was earlier in the day while I was
Yeah.
Which
at
is way
work
better.
and distracted.
Yeah, noon. Noon. It's so much. I think that's so much better. No one's working on a Thursday at noon anyway. What are you talking about?
How come only 11 people signed up? I'm still stuck on that.
I don't know.
Because
I
I
don't.
thought we used to get more people sign up.
I think it's
Cindy, you have to encourage your classmates to do it.
I
If we
did.
don't-
I encouraged
we don't
Kyle
encourage other
completely,
people-
and she signed up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
there you go.
I mean,
Okay,
if you
Kyle,
look at,
spread the word.
yes,
Kyle,
if you
who
look
are
at
you going
our,
to get to sign up?
I actually, believe it or not, Kim was lagging and she
Oh
almost
my
forgot.
gosh.
And so I, on the 14th, texted Kim and said, sign up. I also spoke to Victoria and encouraged Victoria to sign up. I don't know if she did. But if you look at our 9 a.m. class, I already know Cindy, Kim, me. If there's only 11, you got 3 of them right there. I mean, proportionately, I think 9 o'clock wins.
Woo!
Yeah.
Those are fighting words.
Is this a challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck,
But no,
Steph.
for
I
real,
guarantee you,
why
you're gonna have
would
a hard
people
time
not
getting those
sign up?
515ers to sign up.
What if I pay for all of them and register them myself?
Oh.
There's got to be some rules. That's illegal, Steph.
What a big fat cheater.
I haven't even signed up yet.
I'm confused though, because I always think of it's a good way to just test yourself. How come no one wants to do that? I'm so confused.
Because no one wants to test themselves
I do
and-
every day.
and
I wanna
find
test
their
myself.
weaknesses.
I mean, I will likely bring the score down for 9 a.m., but that's okay because I'm doing my
That
best.
is not true, Cindy.
That's not true
all.
because you are one of the only officials signed up. So you can only improve the score for that class.
But like my point is that I always give it my 100%. So I don't get why people aren't wanting to do it. It's totally fun. It's 3 weeks.
Well,
No, I didn't
look,
actually hear about it in class at all.
I know.
well,
I think
Then-
Luke
then-
brought it up once. I do remember him bringing it up at least once.
Is Luke signed up? I don't mean that to be provocative. I'm curious if Luke signed up.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, if we actually care about people being signed up for the open, I think it's each class member's responsibility to encourage their peers to do it. I mean, the
Can they
coaches
still
can say it
sign
up
up
and down.
tomorrow?
Yeah,
Because
till the day of. I mean, actually, till like that first week's
Right.
Monday, right?
I think
Correct.
so.
When I asked Hannah about it, she said it was too late.
No, that's not true.
I think it's too late to get for the t-shirts, right? That had to be in by like the 14th, but not to
Oh,
sign
that,
up
yeah,
for
that's
the
correct.
open.
Oh, Nami, you got to sign up. You're in my class.
Yeah, but where's the
Well, he's trying to
t-shirt?
figure it out.
Where's the t-shirt?
You
Will
can have
will
mine.
figure that out.
Waffles, remember? I had to take off
You can
one
have
in
my
order to like
t-shirt.
push together.
I got a medium. It'll be big, but it won't be huge. You can have mine. If you sign up, I'll give you my t-shirt.
Sorry,
Okay,
I did
it's a
derail
deal.
us, Will. Are we back on fitness now?
right.
I know we.
Will, tomorrow morning, I'm going to use my charm with the 9 a.m.ers. Let's see what happens.
Well,
No
okay,
promises.
so you're not allowed to say anything, but I have not submitted the order for the t-shirts yet. So, Nami, you may request a t-shirt. What size and what cut?
Men's crew neck, small. Yay, I'll do it right now.
I love it. See, we are working it.
But this is it. Like I'm literally gonna submit them right after this call.
Do it.
See, look, another 9 a.m.er. We rule.
I know,
Man, that
Kyle, you guys
515's
do.
lagging.
Because it's all dudes.
Dudes are duds.
What about Brian Lamb? He seems like he'd sign up.
I think he signed up, actually.
Oh, okay. Because I'm
He's
trying to think
amazing.
who comes at 5 a.m. Where the heck has Jack been? I haven't seen him at all.
He's been around.
Okay.
I don't know how to look up who is signed up.
Go on the website, games.crossfit.com, look up a search and then affiliate, look up Valley CrossFit, and then you can click on that and you can see everybody registered. That's with the gym.
Sandra,
was
you're on this
surprised
call, right?
when-
Sandra, when
when
I
I was-
signed up, it said Sandra Bear is a top performer at your gym.
She is the only semifinals athlete from our gym.
I know.
She's not
See?
just a top
So
performer.
when
She
I
is the
signed
top
up,
performer.
it told me that. Isn't that
I
cool?
was just
I
about to
wonder
text you.
why. I think that's weird. I think this year's going to be a total bust. I just,
Sure.
I
I
don't
think you're wrong.
Me too.
I unfortunately think you might qualify
She's
again.
gonna qualify for the games.
because the total signups is like 33% or 35% of what it has been in the past.
Is that because of the thing that happened this year at the games?
I don't know. I mean that's what
No, I don't.
that's what certain people are saying. I don't
I,
see how I don't know.
well, it's not true for our gym. We normally have 20 or whatever. Today, this time we have 11, and I'm sure none of them that didn't sign up are thinking about anything that happened at the games. They just are lazy. I don't know.
Well, when I took the noon class, there was a group of people at noon talking about how like they just don't want any more information about them like out in like the internet world. Like they just don't want like any other statistics or any other information, or they'll do the workouts, but they just didn't want to
That's
post.
idiotic.
And I don't go to noon enough to like really, I didn't get involved in the conversation, but that's what they were saying.
Or like they don't want their information out there in the cyber world.
Yeah.
Other than
But-
on Instagram.
I
Well,
have it. Like I could use my dinky little $200 laptop and get any piece of information on anybody I want. That exists no matter what people want or don't want about themselves out there.
It's so true.
It is true because recently we've had many attempts at identity theft using all kinds of information, obsolete emails, obsolete phone numbers, and it's out there. So it's out there forever and ever and ever.
If
So
you
then
make an online purchase ever, it's out there.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, we got one more.
All right, I guess we'll get started on this.
Okay. I just finished my protein shake. So there. I had 30 grams of protein.
Okay, let's review where we're supposed to be at because we didn't actually get to have a call last week because I was not here. I don't remember why we couldn't do it, but
You were at grandma's.
I was already there. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. I was 3 weeks ago now. Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So I was not here. Anyway, week one was basically the start with why. Did I pin this? Oh, we start with why. Okay, and then week two was basically like trying to build better habits. That was like the little write up, and then World Class Fitness by Greg Glassman. Essentially, what we are kind of using as our structure, our skeleton for all of our lifestyle interventions is kind of this World Class Fitness in 100 Words by Greg Glassman. This guy, for all of his faults, was a pretty freaking smart dude. Over the 13 years that I've been doing CrossFit and all of the studying I've done, the more I do this, the longer I'm in this, the more like this guy was a genius. Like very, very simple and effective strategies to try and improve people's health and fitness. It's really astonishing. Anyway, the first 11 words, I believe, is 11. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 words. In his definition of what is fitness in 100 words, what do you think the first 14 words are?
Nuts and berries.
That's 3. And no.
Something about being varied.
No sugar.
Nope. Nope.
Growing up.
Nope. I would imagine, let's see if I can get this up. 100 words. Don't cheat. Don't look.
We're on the edge of our seat.
Don't cheat. Oh, this is too small. I need this bigger. My eyes can't read that. Okay. Most people know about the practice and train major lifts, deadlift clean, squat, press, clean and jerk, snatch, master the basics of gymnastics, blah, 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 blah. Bike, swim, row, run, hard and fast, 5-6 days a week. Mix these up in as many combinations as possible. Routine is the enemy. Keep workouts short and intense. Regularly learn and play new sports. That's what most people think fitness is. His first 14 words are eat meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. Keep intake to levels that will support exercise but not body fat.
I think I got some of the words in there.
You didn't. You did actually. You got nuts and nuts and
Boom.
seeds, not nuts and berries,
Wait,
but
can
close
you
enough.
read that one more time? Can you read
So
that?
I bring that up. It's already in week two's,
Yeah,
Isn't it in the
uh,
hallway at the gym?
and it's also in the hallway
yeah.
at the gym. And it's also on our Instagram, but it's in the week two. What did I call it? Quality PDF that's in the New Year Fit Six New Year chat. Um, and the idea being the things that you put into your body matter before the things that you do with your body, implying you have to give it the appropriate building blocks, or it will never build itself to the the structure that it could potentially be. So that's kind of the idea. That's why we start with nutrition. And realistically, it should probably even start before nutrition, or concurrent with nutrition is sleep. But that's another topic, not to be discussed right now. So anyway, last week was supposed to be develop the habit, eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and minimal added sugar. I put minimal added sugar because in reality, no sugar is unrealistic, and we are human beings, and it's nice to have some sugar every once in a while, but um, not not every time you work out or every time you have dinner that you get a dessert. Not like that. Um, then keep intake to levels that support exercise but not fat. So one, not body fat. Part one is kind of a quality thing, which is really what we're focusing on here in week two that we were supposed to have. And then keeping intake to levels that support exercise but not body fat. That's what we were supposed to go over this week. And if you looked at the Develop the Habit worksheet page, I kind of categorized people into different little goals here. So if you were a beginner, you were just trying to focus on consuming less than 50 grams of added sugar per day. If you're an intermediate athlete, in this case, intermediate nutritionista, you replace processed carbohydrates with unprocessed carbohydrates because typically that is the most processed food that people are going to have is some variation of a sauce or a carb. Typically, meats not as often, at least for adults. The RX would have been whole, real, unprocessed food for most of your meals. And then the advanced was the Whole Life Challenge lifestyle compliant food pick list. Did you guys see that or take a look at that last week?
I did.
Was that the 3-page one at the end?
Yes.
I tried to print that like 15 times and it won't print, and I can't read it on my phone because it's too teensy tiny. So I tried. I don't know why it won't print.
I'm not going to say that's user error, but it's just a regular PDF.
I know. The other two printed fine.
Hmm.
I don't know.
You should have told me. I would have printed it out for you. And then the page after the worksheet where you're like basically like Monday meal 1, 2, 3, Tuesday meal 1, 2, 3, you basically like assign yourself a score. You can do it two ways. You can either say, I want to do a beginner level of this, the entire 21 meals, and you get a little check mark if you did it, or you don't. Or you could have done like, oh, Monday meal 1, I was a beginner. Monday meal 3, I was an advanced athlete. I don't know. It depends on how you want to kind of approach that. I didn't have a chance to talk to anyone about that yet. So we're good. And I kind of kept that same structure for all of them. So if you're going to do these, we can talk about that today for the next one. But anyway, after the worksheet, it kind of talks a little bit about why we pay attention to quality first. And I'm sure most people have, especially people on this call, because most of you are more in touch with what you're probably putting in your body than people that are not on this call because they don't seem to care. That question kind of goes hand in hand, quality or quantity first. Like, is it really calories in and out first, or is it really trying to focus on the foods? And I think for most people, you get the best bang for your buck by focusing on quality first. Because if you're eating minimally to non-processed foods for almost all of your diet, you're going to be way more full. You're getting way more nutrients. You're getting way better health outcomes. You're like your satiety level will be more steady, so you will have less like swings in hunger, leading to less bad choices. it tends to do a lot of things that just focusing on calories will not help you do. So that's why we go quality first.
I think you could just say you are what you eat.
Sure.
But yes, I agree. That's worked for me big time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and more often than not, people have it. I mean, I don't know how many of you have ever done this, like really weighed and measured your food, which we will do it in a couple weeks, I believe. Um, 2,000 calories of whole unprocessed foods with zero point 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, with 800 plus or minus grams of fruits and vegetables a day is a ton of food.
Yep.
I cannot eat that much food. I like can't. I would like to, and I can't. And that's like a calorie deficit for me, for example, of like 600 to 400 to 600 calories, depending on obviously what the pieces of food that I'm choosing. But um, it's really, it's really powerful if people do those things.
Totally agree.
So
And I
anyway,
think
go, Mom.
even if you fall off the wagon and eat a Dunkin' Donut chocolate, but if you eat everything else good, that's better than eating less food and crappy food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when in this chat, in the WhatsApp chat, that I've left the same, but I just changed the title, where I was posting like all those comparisons of this is 600 calories of mostly whole unprocessed foods, and this is 600 calories of Starbucks sugary drink, and I don't even know what else. I bet you that probably gets you close to 600 calories. And there's like 5 plates of food. So my point being, it tends to leave room for those indulgences if you focus on the whole real food first, trying to hit your protein goal, which we're going to talk about, trying to hit your fruits and vegetables goal, which we're going to talk about. You will probably have extra calories to use if you choose to on anything. Do you guys know what a serving of Oreos is?
Like 2.
No, don't eat.
It's
How
3.
many? 2? 3? Wow.
Yeah, and like it doesn't
And it's
sound
120 calories
and it's only 13 grams of added sugar.
only.
Yeah.
But my point being, like, that the 150 calories and 12 grams of added sugar, I'm not worried about that because I've taken care of all this other stuff and I'm on top of all these other few things. It's not a lot, but you can do it. I got my Ninja Creamy out. I've made ice cream. I've perfected my ice cream formula in case any of you want some.
Oh, do you use the Ninja Creamery?
Oh yeah.
So I just bought it, but I can't decide if I want it.
I would love that recipe, Will. Elon and I use it all the time.
I make I'll send it I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you.
The one thing about the Ninja Cream, and the reason why I bring that up, is because I have such a hard time of eating. I have such a hard time eating all of that protein. I used to put it into a protein shake before bed, but now I put it into ice cream because that was already ice cream is my kryptonite. Like if it is in my neighbor's house, it's gone, kind of a thing. Like that's how much I like ice cream. So now I have found a way to satisfy that cold, creamy, like a frozen protein shake blended up into an ice cream is actually way more satiety inducing. I don't know how I would say that. You feel fuller from eating it like ice cream than you do drinking it like a shake.
So are you
So
just pouring like the protein thing in the Ninja and
that's
sticking
basically all I'm doing. I put some other
and
stuff
you stick it in the freezer and then it
freezes.
And
the
then
only problem is more than likely if you So I do 1 cup of whole milk. I also tried the Nutrilite skim milk chocolate, and I haven't tried that one yet. So it's in the freezer getting ready. I'm gonna brew it up today. I'm gonna spin it up today. Um, if it's a lower fat or plant-based milk alternative, it tends to make the first spin super powdery. So you have to put like maybe 2 to 4 more ounces of liquid in it and then respin it, and then it will be creamy. That was my only complaint. That's why I put it away for so long. I was like, I don't want this powdery stuff. I want like ice cream. And then I figured out that you either have to respin it or use a fuller fat milk or fuller fat milk base. Anyway, um, so that was
You
last
know,
week.
I tried to put the protein powder in like coffee and just, mix it in. It doesn't mix in. It just makes big giant clumps.
You have to use collagen protein powder mixes better with hot than whey protein powder. And not all collagen powders are the same either. Some of them are not as good as others. Vital Proteins collagen is good. And then Melissa has another one that mixes really well that I forget what it's called, but I can put that in the chat also.
There's also a bone broth protein if you can't have pea protein that I started using. That it's similar to
You're so
collagen.
bougie.
Michonne recommended it.
Broth.
It also like melts. You have to use hot liquid. If you don't use hot liquid and it's like clumpy, gross.
It doesn't taste like that, Mom.
Well,
In the Ninja Creamy, you can use though like the Ascent protein powder, and I will use like an oat milk, and I'll put my collagen in with it. I dump it all in, and then I use the powdered peanut butter, and that's like my go-to. That's all I make with the Ninja Creamy, which is why I'd like to make something else.
What was your base? Your milk base?
I use an oat milk.
Okay. Yeah, oat milk tends to be fattier, so it's a little thicker and it doesn't powder up as much, which is nice.
You do have to respin it, but it comes out pretty creamy.
Yeah. What is this? Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. This week's, I'm not gonna go over the document PDF that's basically just kind of like talks about. I'm gonna rewrite all of these. I'm writing them as the weeks go, and then at the very end, I'm gonna put them all together and then rewrite them so it breaks up into 8 weeks of kind of habit building and because a lot of this stuff it's not just as simple as stop eating McDonald's, start eating um, more protein, fruits and vegetables. It's not that simple for a lot of people. So a big component of this is like identity and who you have to believe that you are somebody that can do this and that you are a healthy person. You do work out regularly and this, that, and the other. And building habits is also kind of it takes time, like trying to relearn or establishing new habits is hard. So I wanted to kind of put that together with the certain progression that we're going to be taking with our nutrition today. So you can read through this 8 weeks. So you can read that first week 3 building PDF. But what I did want to talk about today, which we have time for because I paid for the extended time, is the quantities. So we're not going to actually get into weighing and measuring your food yet, unless you think you are ready for that. The reason why I hold off on that is because a lot of people, one of the worst things I think for people when they're trying to establish new habits, and especially if it's a lifestyle that they're not used to, is being overwhelmed and then giving up. And then they either go back to zero or regress even further, and then like it gets harder the next time they try and do things. So like I hope that like the way that we're progressing through this is slow enough that it's not going to overwhelm anyone. The most people on this call I've already talked to about this kind of stuff, but maybe other people are going to listen to this on the YouTube maybe. So anyway, hand portion control by Precision Nutrition. I didn't make almost any of this stuff up. Smarter people than me that have been doing this stuff for longer than me. I just took the tools that I think work really well for people and I put them together. And so this is a really easy way, especially when you're out and you can't weigh and measure your food, to kind of get a sense of serving sizes. So at the very minimum, everybody, hi, Gwenny. Oh, you're going crazy? At the very minimum, everyone should be eating three meals a day, with a palm-sized serving of protein, a fist-sized serving of vegetables, and that's the cup, like the cupped hand, serving carbs. That's not including vegetables as a carbohydrate. So like don't count maybe you could count a potato, I guess, but that's talking about like rice or pastas or breads or things like that. And then a thumb-sized serving of healthy fats and oils, like a tablespoon or two of olive oil or nuts and seeds, or like a quarter of an avocado, something like that. And then you can kind of read on about it, like, why is this a good thing? Hands are portable. Hands are consistent size relative to you as the person. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And so the developing the habit for this week was supposed to be make sure that each of your major meals fits the hand portion control guidelines. Beginner level is 2 fists of fruits and vegetables at each meal. And basically a fist is about a cup, like an actual measuring cup. I think it's actually a cupped hand, but we'll call the fist. If you're doing 2 fists of fruits and vegetables at each meal 3 times a day, that's about 800 grams of fruits and vegetables. So a lot of this stuff is just kind of like different ways of attacking the same concept. The intermediate level is beginner, so you're eating the fruits and vegetables and you're doing 1 to 2 palms of protein per meal. Did I spell protein wrong?
Did you? I didn't notice it when I read it.
I spelled it wrong. That's funny. Anyway, RX athlete is intermediate level, so basically for the 800 gram challenge, which is 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight protein per day, and 800 grams of fruits and vegetables per day. So that's the intermediate, plus limiting quality fats to 1 to 2 thumbs worth. And the idea behind that is it's easy to over index on fats if you're not paying attention to them. Carbohydrates and proteins, specifically protein, but in carbs, depending on the carbs you're eating, like if you're eating a bunch of vegetables, you will probably get uncomfortably full before you overeat them. Fat, on the other hand, is very easy to overindulge on. Fatty meats plus, like if you think of the traditional American like last meal, it's the steak with the fully loaded baked potato, and like let's stay away from that. So anyway, and then the advanced athlete is the RX plus, limiting starchy carbs to around training. And this is a little bit of timing that we're going to touch on at the very, very end. The idea being immediately following your training. This has kind of been a little bit debunked over the past maybe 3 to 5 years, but there's still contradictory research saying that kind of supporting what I learned when I was in grad school about this stuff, that your specifically your muscles, and secondarily your liver, is the most receptive to replenishing the carbohydrates that you use in a training session immediately following it. That I'm sure you've all heard that anabolic window. Men tend to have a longer anabolic window than women do, Women, it tends to be approximately about within that first hour of training. That's about the most receptive that your muscle fibers themselves will be to starchy carbohydrates like a banana or an apple or things like that. And then the further away from training you get, the less capable your muscles supposedly are at dealing with the faster, higher glycemic load carbohydrates, suggesting that you should be taking like eating things slower to digest carbohydrate wise instead of rice, like sweet potatoes, or even slower, like any vegetable, even though those technically are carbs. Most people don't think of them as carbs, but that's kind of the idea behind that. So there's that. I'm done talking for now.
It's all great info.
So, Will, this is my question for you. If like I typically have like a protein shake or something like that for breakfast, am I then trying to fit in, I don't know, vegetables or so? Because I'm really just not that hungry in the morning. I typically work out and then even my protein drink is on the go, and then I'm at work. How important is it, if I'm not over having it, that I'm under having it?
Depending on how much under, it can be kind of important. We don't talk about fiber in this. We don't talk about oh, maybe we do actually. We might talk about fiber and micronutrients towards the end of this. The reason why I wait so long to talk about it is because people have a tendency to focus on things like that and not try to understand the whole picture. If you aren't getting certain micronutrients, for example, certain cellular function is not as effective at I don't know how to. I wasn't prepared to answer this question. I don't know how to answer it in a clear and concise way. It is important. Let's just leave it there.
Kyle,
So
do you eat before you work out?
No.
I felt like that. So for me, I try to get in the like carbs before I work out. I don't like to eat before I work out because I don't like a full belly, but I make sure to have something in me. And I notice a difference in the gym when I was, for a long time, I was not having anything, and I would go in kind of like fasted just because I didn't want anything. And once I started to do something, there was a big difference in how I felt when I worked out in the gym. And then afterwards, I tried to make it a point to like eat fruit with my protein shake and just like eat a cup of fruit. And that's carbs after the workout, just to make sure to get it in. And I also feel better the rest of the day.
So,
I
Steph,
think
what
that
do you
is the
what do you
best solution.
what do you
Is
eat
a piece
before
of
the
fruit with the
gym?
protein.
Well, since I'm there at 5 in the morning, I have powdered carbs. But if you can handle eating a couple grapes, that's probably like you don't have to eat like a full blown meal. Just have not an empty stomach. And then I do collagen protein and coffee.
But Steph, when you say you've noticed a difference in the gym, how so? Because like I'm also somebody that I don't get hungry till like 11. So I usually eat right after the gym. I usually eat fruit and like Greek yogurt or something like that. But like, what's
like
the difference?
when you're lifting, you don't feel as tired when you're doing cardio kind of workout stuff. You don't fall off as easily.
I have my energy level since my kids all grew up and are productive humans is way better.
Steph,
well, I noticed a physical difference, and I was skeptical and did it, and I'm like, I'm already fit, right? Like I noticed a difference.
Okay. No, that's what I was wondering. It's a physical difference you're feeling.
I'm trying to figure out what to eat because I've heard that before. And I know that this is so gross, but when I've eaten before, I find like during my workout, I'm like burping it. Like it's like coming back, which.
So that's why I do I'm weird. I don't know that you should do what I do, but I do powdered carbs. But I think that because I am the same. I can't have like solid food in my belly and work out. And I'm
Right.
not going to wake up 2 hours before I work out in the morning. So for me, that works. But I sip my protein throughout the class, and then I'm
Okay.
finished with it by the end of class.
So you're having it while you're in class and you don't find that it upsets your stomach at all? You
No,
don't? Okay.
no, and I have a very sensitive stomach.
She's also not like drinking. She's sipping. Like like if you mix a protein shake with like 25 or 30 grams of protein in it, she's probably putting approximately 25 grams, I would assume, Steph, of carbs.
Of carbs, it's like 60 calories worth, whatever that is. The math, do the math.
So that's like 15 grams of carbs. So like 15 to 20 grams of powdered carbohydrates, and then water. It's coffee, right? You do it with your coffee, Steph?
Yeah, yeah, with black coffee. So I do the collagen protein, the bone broth protein, but not a lot, not a whole lot, just enough to flavor the coffee. And then I do the full blown coffee, like protein after I get back from the gym.
Okay.
But
Right. So,
and then I
and
put
she's just
creatine in there too.
sipping. She's just sipping on it. She's not like she'll make that protein shake. So that's left over. Steph and I worked together a long time ago, kind of loosely followed this company called RP, period is it Renaissance Periodization, RP Strength, and they are all about timing. And one of their things that I really liked, I wouldn't recommend this for everybody. It's more of, well, I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, but the idea was that you need some broken down, like easily accessible macronutrients, specifically carbs and protein, kind of floating around in your blood, so that it can kind of there's an abundant source of nutrients in case your muscles need them to use them. And the
So
idea
before you work out, you're saying.
before, during, and after. So like the goal was to take that protein shake that you would have maybe in the morning only. You drink like a third of it 30 minutes before you go to the gym. You're sipping on it throughout your training session, and you finish it by the end of your training session.
Ah,
So that way it's like spreading it out. So you're not getting a quick dope, you're not getting a huge dump of all this liquid in your body and these macronutrients. It's just like a slow drip. That's kind of the idea behind that.
Could I do that with like the Fairlight shakes? Could I do it with? I'm just looking for something that's quick and easy because I'm
Yeah,
ready.
just sip on that.
Yeah, that's fine to try.
Just don't
that.
like down the whole thing, because
Yeah.
then you'll be waterlogged. Like
Right.
that was what would
Yeah.
happen to me if I did that. But
Okay.
yeah, just something so your stomach's not empty.
I
okay.
will try
I'm
that
gonna
tomorrow
try.
morning.
And then I would also suggest that protein shake after the workout.
Yeah.
I would have a piece of fruit with it. Like that's
Okay.
that's a simple, quick, like doesn't need a whole bunch of prep. And like a piece of fruit. Another thing about this whole nutrition thing and lifestyle intervention, whatever you want to call it, whenever you're doing anything like this, you got to make it as easy as possible. So don't, like, this is a trap that what people fall into all the time when we do these challenges. They'll start, and I think I mentioned this in the first call, and maybe I was a little bit. A certain somebody mentioned that I may have been a little insensitive to people when I was talking about this initially. But the problem is, like, they'll get really excited about trying to do all these things, and they're going to make 17 different changes, and they're going to make these gourmet meals that they're going to plate perfectly and take pictures of. And it's like, and then Stephanie sent her microwaved and had then since gotten cold, sad looking broccoli and unsauced chicken breast. And in reality, that's usually what like eating like this consistently over the long term comes down to. It's not something that's this like beautiful experience every single time. It's just fuel, and you have to look at like that. So
Is there any fruits that you would stay away from? I've heard you should stay away from watermelon. You should stay away from bananas.
unless you have specific intolerances to, and I have to state this, I'm not a nutritionist. I have not seen any of your allergy panels, this, that, and the other. Most of that is hogwash, though.
Okay.
So
Most of it, not all of it, most of it, though.
So on your write-up, you had like your support system, your strength and your support system. So for me personally, this group is my support system. And you said like share one major habit, success, or challenge in the group chat. So Stephanie, I'm going to take yours as the eating before you, or, putting something in your belly before you work out as a habit that does success. Do other people have a success that they could share?
Before you move away from that, I forgot to say, it also lets people having like fuel in your system and being well fed, maybe from the night before, or like having eaten a little bit beforehand to fuel your training session. You can push harder, you can lift heavier, you can go faster, you can go longer, which doesn't necessarily like eating more does for most people doesn't, oh, how is that going to improve my fitness? But it does because you're able to get more out of your training session, which then in turn will make you fitter.
Yeah.
So like it's not always about cutting now we'll talk about calories in and out next week, but it's not always just about cutting calories. It's about like being very tactful about how you do it. So sorry to interrupt you, Cindy.
No, I just like this is such a helpful group for me. So like I'm gonna take Stephanie's advice, or because that was working for her. But I'm
Or just
looking.
experiment with it. Experiment what works for you. Because like I think, you know your body, you know how you already feel in the gym, and you can kind of observe. I'm going to change what, like a science experiment. I'm going to change one thing in a particular way and see how that impacts me. But like I know personally, I can't have fruit in my belly because like the fruit juice bothers me if I'm working out. Like I have a very sensitive stomach. Um, but I was resistant to eating anything because of that. But once I changed that, now it's a habit that like if I don't do it, I also work out at 5 in the morning. Like if I was going to take a 10 o'clock gym class, I would have to eat real food. I couldn't survive off that liquid for if I was awake from 6 in the morning. So I have to gauge how long have I been awake, and I need to like how early before I work out am I eating food?
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. But Will, do you have a habit that is successful that you can share?
Um, protein ice cream.
Ah, love it.
I mean, I don't necessarily, I've done so many of these and I'm pretty dialed in terms of like, I don't fluctuate very much. Because I'm very simple. I eat the same, almost the same things all the time. And I work out. I've been more consistent with that lately, but there was a time a couple months ago when I wasn't that consistent. But like I've been a mover almost my entire life. So I don't have a whole lot of like stuff that's that fancy. It's just a lot of the same over and over and over again. However, this protein ice cream is I'm not exaggerating, a big freaking deal for me because if I can and I can mix it up and make the flavors change and add in different mix-ins. I don't think I ever because I eat the entire quart of Talenti ice cream. I don't think people understand that. So
Well,
like
I
In one sitting.
in one single sitting.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But what about, have you ever tried, I don't know how you pronounce it, but YASSO? It's made from Greek yogurt, and I think it tastes just like ice cream.
I haven't, but now I don't need to.
No, exactly. You don't. But like they sell it at like Ralph's and whatever, and they make it in like ice cream bars, but like literally it tastes
Oh, I
just
think
like
I
ice
have
cream.
had that. I've had the bars. I haven't had the actual ice
And
cream.
they
I've had the
taste
bars
just
though.
like ice cream, and they have more protein and obviously way less calories.
Yeah.
I used to, when I was doing Dawn Patrol, I didn't eat. I'd roll out of bed, put on clothes, and go to workout. And then I changed to the 6:30 class, and I do get up before 5 and eat. So I'm eating at 5 o'clock and working out at 6:30. And I used to think, and I did see a difference in my performance. I used to think it was the caffeine in the protein shake I was drinking. Then I stopped drinking that protein shake, but I was still eating, and I still feel better working out. I feel like I can lift more, go, go faster, whatever.
That's great.
But
So
you do, I have to get it, I have to have it digested before I start working out, because it does give me it gives me a stomach ache.
Yeah, that's the hard part. The more real the food is, the more complex it is, the longer before the training session you need to have finished the meal so that it's like mostly or yeah, like mostly digested. So it's not sitting around sloshing in your stomach kind of a thing.
Yeah. Or you're doing wall balls and you're barfing in your mouth. Not wall balls, wall walks. You're doing wall walk and then you're barfing up your food. So that's not pleasant.
So I have a real problem with reflux, but don't like to exercise on a completely empty stomach. And so it's been a real experiment to figure out how much to eat before class. And Cindy, I go to 9 o'clock as well, get up around 6:30 or so. And I have found that a half a package of instant oatmeal with a little bit of berries is just the right amount of food to eat before a workout, or like 2 tablespoons of yogurt and an equal amount of granola. It's just the right amount so that I'm not too refluxy, but I have something in my system.
Okay. This is
Awesome.
great. This is great. Thank you.
And then eggs afterwards.
Yum.
Yum. You're so bougie, Nami, with your eggs.
Did you hear that some stores are like littler stores, the bodegas and stuff, are selling eggs individually? You can buy one
No.
egg, 2 eggs, 3
You know
eggs.
what?
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I used to
I
go to
was
the
at-
Korean store and I could get 20 of them for like half the price of what you could get at Trader Joe's. But even the Korean store, it's like $12 for a 20 pack now. It's crazy.
Wow.
You know what? I was at Costco this morning. I got there 10 o'clock right when they opened. I got my brown eggs. It was 24 eggs for under $8. It was like 7 something
What?
for 24 eggs.
Oh my
So,
gosh, that's a steal. I gotta go to
That-
Costco.
Yeah, but you just have to get there literally when it opens. If you get there much later, they'll be gone.
That's crazy because I don't know how people, I guess people eat a lot of eggs.
We eat a lot of eggs. I eat a lot. Actually, as I'm talking to you right now, that's what I'm making myself for dinner. Eggs. I eat eggs all the time.
Our house probably goes through an 18 pack of eggs every 3 or 4 days.
So good. Yum.
All right, any
Okay.
questions about the hand portion control?
No, I think it's great. It totally works.
Pretty
I have-
self-explanatory.
I have a question about that post-workout carb thing. Does that
Mhm.
mean that you aren't supposed to eat carbs after you work out? Or does that mean that it's better to eat carbs after you work
You
out?
totally need carbs after you work out.
Yeah, and the idea was like a specific type of starchier or
Faster digesting carb.
faster carbs. So like a sugary, closer to sugar, less complex carbohydrate. So it's faster to be digested and get into your blood and into potential muscles.
And that helps you build muscle?
It helps replenish the muscle glycogen, which doesn't, you know what? It probably helps with the volume of the muscle. I can't imagine it wouldn't. But the idea is that you're recovered faster from your training session, so you can do it again and you can perform at a higher level your next training session. Now the jury seems to be mixed on that as of late, but that's what I learned, and that's what I still feel anecdotally is what is true for me.
I think it's true because my son played, soccer at a massively high level. And as a team, after like a game or whatever, they always would go like just load up on pasta and chicken. So I think it's true.
I think just as a pro tip, it's good not to, because like I can easily go do the gym, run home, have to get the kids ready for school, and then skip eating. And it's like 2 hours after the gym and I haven't had anything yet. And that's not ideal. So even when I'm making their lunches and trying to like rush in the morning, I rinse off some extra berries and fruit and just pop that. And then I make my protein shake after I drop them off from school. But it like I feel better for the rest of the day if I don't wait like 2, 3 hours after I got back from the gym to actually eat something.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then you run into well, now I'm starving. And
Yeah.
I'll grab the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich from Starbucks with something creamy and tasty. Like a lot of this is just setting up an environment. I think I put that in the last week's thing. Create the environment where you're going to make better decisions later. So if you can plan ahead and offset potential problems before they even happen, it's probably a good strategy. Okay, that's all I got.
Thank you. So helpful as always.
Hey, you know what's? I would actually, I shouldn't say this. I was
Say
going to
it.
say more importantly, but not importantly, what would make me more happy is if more of your classmates jumped onto these calls than signing up for the open. But oh well.
Well, I think that this is fantastic. This is only like I'm only a few weeks in and I love it. Already I have my drink by my front door so that tomorrow when I leave for the gym, it's already there. So I can try something new and I appreciate all the information.
Jeez.
Well,
I
I
think
think
the hard
I'm living proof that it works personally. And I've had so many people at the gym ask me if I took Ozempic.
Like, what a freaking plug for just eating whole, real, unprocessed foods and eating protein and vegetables. Like, they're asking her if she took Ozempic.
Right. And I swear to God did not. But
Cindy does look pretty
people
fabulous. I
at the
gotta
gym
say,
asked me that.
she looks fabulous.
You should
I think
keep plugging these calls.
I
I
will.
think the hard part is people want something that's like you have the formula and it's an easy formula. And it's honestly, it's not that hard to do the things you're recommending, but it's like they want it fast and they want it easy, and it's not fast. And
It's
so,
neither of those things.
yeah,
It's moderately slow and not super easy. It's simple, but it's not easy.
But these calls help to keep it at the forefront of your mind because
Yep.
especially
Mhm.
right now with like everything that's going on in the world, it's really easy to say, I just want to eat chocolate for the rest of
Yep.
the day.
Yep.
Yep. I always just want to eat chocolate.
And I just also want to say this for the beginning of the call, I was driving to pick up Elon and he was in the car. And so he was listening to part of it. And I thought it was really great for him to hear part of it as well. Just being like a 15-year-old kid who's an athlete and, you know, so I think it's not just for us, but, you know, for younger than us as well. So
Yeah,
I'm
totally
just
agree.
I'm just selfish. I just want everyone to be on these calls.
well,
Yeah,
I'm sure
we're
it's
missing
also
Ginny tonight, right?
she had a conflict, so
Okay.
she let me know she wanted to be here, but
I know.
I'm sure she wishes she was here instead of handling what she's handling.
I
But
think she would have a good habit that I could take from. So, you know, you guys have exposed me to so many new things, new ways of doing things, and new popcorn, and I could go on and on and on.
So, Will, do you think that are there other, I mean, I guess we could ask you later, but like if there are other classmates that are doing this, maybe they can't make the Sunday calls, but try to be their buddy in some way.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I could look at the thing and tell you what time. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I'm going to put the most consistent class times and the class time and what people fit into those most consistently. So that way you guys can see and bully them. I mean, be buddies with them. So, get them moving.
I love it.
Done. Brainwashing of the cult.
That's right.
Thank you.
Mom, I'm
Thank
not
you so
coming over. I'm
much.
going to bed.
I'm
Bye,
Thanks.
guys. Enjoy your
Bye.
Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.